Good morning, everyone. I'm Sundar. I'm one of the co-founders of PropVR and also director of products. I hope everyone had a great party last night and have woken up. If not, I have exactly 30-40 minutes to wake you up and take you through a journey of something that I had privilege to work with. So to give you a background, for the past decade, I have had the privilege to work with architecture, engineering, and construction industry very closely, where we could involve a lot of gaming technology into enterprise. Today, I'm going to talk about that journey and show you some examples, case studies, and provide as much value as possible on what you could take back as how you can integrate the solutions within using Unreal Engine into a solution like enterprise. So buckle up, because we are going to dive into some seriously cool stuff. All right, to kind of make the talk more structured, I have split that into 4 different parts. So we'll start with a quick background about who we are so that it sets some context, and then go into what we do in terms of journey and talk about what the industry is about. Then talk about how enterprise and gaming actually, some of the solutions that we have developed, and then dive into some use cases and the future case studies that you can kind of take back and kind of use these solutions for. So to give you a background, we started in the year 2015 with the idea that the next gen of technologies, which is virtual reality, augmented reality, and these spatial technologies come into existence, how enterprises would basically take into action these solutions and become the more spatial in terms of its context. So our goal was to kind of bring interactive 3D experiences into the world of enterprise. So initially, we started to work with multiple industries: retail, hospitality, education, building different kinds of use cases, trying to find our product market fit. But when we kind of went deeper into real estate, we realized that this problem statement is unique because it has its own set of challenges. And these challenges were unique to be solved in its own way using the gaming technology. Since then, we have worked with over 100+ clients, delivered over 500+ projects, and we have had the privilege of collaborating with some of the top companies in the world to define what the future of these spatial technologies in the enterprise could look like. So from day one, our focus has been like, how can software basically drive 3D as a technology? So we were trying to kind of create pipeline solutions that can actually push the boundaries of 3D. So one of the core problem statements, if you work with any real estate or any specific industry within that, one of the core problems is the moment customer comes to you, he wants the product as of yesterday. So it's like the deadlines are insane, right? So the first problem statement was, how can you build 3D faster? So the assets that you're getting in terms of AutoCADs, floor plans, 2D plans, how can you use that in terms of data, and how can you automate some of these things that you're doing on a regular basis to make things faster? So there were few things that we did internally in terms of pipelines, structures, libraries that allowed us to kind of accelerate this process. So in an industry where it takes like 4 to 6 weeks to develop something like an interactive product, we were able to push out some of these experiences within 2 weeks of time. And once we did that, the other goal was, okay, instead of doing static stuff, can we do something interactive and make more engagement within the customers? So we have filed over 18 international patents, and some of these experiences are in the future, how these real estate experiences could be consumed. So some of this involve like procedurally, if you have a world, how can multiple people collaborate within that world, and how would a real estate sales happen within that world? I'll show you some of these examples. So let me walk you through what we actually work in the industry for. So a quick background about our video. So we basically built interactive worlds and we help gamify them. So if you see, most of our experiences has been like building sales tools, software, and database integrations into real estate. So our business strategy into 3 major verticals: content, software, and data. And that's what most of the enterprise companies would do. From a content perspective, you would change the content for every single customer. Software would be something that you have different types of tools and pipelines that you have defined for real estate for helping them sell or visualize their existing platform. And third is data, that is connecting the real-time data into these kind of solutions. And finally, with Fortnite, this is something that we have started to go into. So you will see some more examples of that today. and then some spatial experiences. So traditionally, if you look at any real estate industry or any specific construction industry, stakeholders rely on 3D pipelines that provide static assets through rendering pipelines. So you would know that you would use a 3ds Max or Corona to create static renders that were used for marketing. The problem with this kind of approach is that there is a lot of inefficiency with respect to different stakeholders using it. So if you look at how a real estate pipeline or life cycle is, there are different stakeholders at each and every point of a real estate life cycle. And the 3D model today dies out in one of these when you use static rendering. What we went to real estate with was something called a unified 3D pipeline, which can basically flow the 3D model across different stakeholders from day one of the life cycle. So imagine you're an architect, you're starting the project. So at that point in time, if you build something within 3D, can that 3D basically communicate within the entire life cycle of taking it to sales and marketing, use it for launch experiences, then further take it to something like a construction update. And then once the project is sold out, you can basically use the same 3D model to build something like a digital twin, connect sensors, data, and data on top of it to showcase something like an ESG monitoring tool. And further, once the entire project is done, can the project still live in its 3D world using something like a community engagement tool like Fortnite or something like a gamification? So this was the goal that we started with. But the major thing that we saw with this unified 3D pipeline is it can provide up to 10x value in terms of its customers, because when we initially spoke to customers, they were reinvesting on these 3D pipelines at different lifecycle points, which was creating a lot of inefficiency. I'll show you some quick examples of these. So to start with, imagine the first stage for a real estate developer is to kind of find a specific land parcel and simulate how that particular land parcel would have their particular master plan showcased, and look at the data behind it. Like, should I build this? What should the master plan look like? How many towers that should be? So for this case, there are two approaches that we use internally. Approach A is wherever there is data available, whereas cesium 3D tiles and these kind of solutions available, we take that data and we basically help the customer position their master plan within that data for quick iteration to define their decision faster. Second model is where there is no data, which is where most of the areas that we operate in, mostly in GCC region or Dubai or India, this data is not available. So the only approach that you can take is basically fly drones. And today you are able to convert a drone data into a LiDAR format and bring that data within Unreal Engine to help customers visualize how their particular project would look like with the surrounding data. So with this just a simple and quick simulation, real estate developers have been able to save millions of dollars in their initial decision making by just having to kind of simulate this and make faster decisions. Next, once the architect confirms that this is the final design that they want to go, we take that same model and we convert that into an interactive sales presentation tool. The goal of this is that customers traditionally, if they are looking at assets which are rendering, which go into social media and brochures and things like that, this is a more advanced way of storytelling. This allows customers to visualize every single aspect of the project, show different customization options, have different views of the balcony, see different times of the day. So your entire storytelling experience for a real estate or any particular new project development, whether it's retail or construction or hospitality, becomes much better, and the customer engagement can grow up to 400%. So we have built over time, over the last 6 years, we have built different kinds of platform solutions that apply specifically to real estate. So the software keeps constant, the UI and the platform and these things can change. The content is the only thing that changes from project to project. And the data is something that you can integrate. The next problem we had is, okay, once you build this, how can you deploy this? So you could deploy this one in your offline sales centers where you have touch screens. Second, you need to deploy it on web because most of the customers who buy these projects are somewhere remotely available. So to do that, there are again two solutions. One is you could pixel stream this, but with pixel streaming solutions, some of the customers can afford that solution. But because most of the customers cannot afford that solution today, what we have been able to do is create a more interactive way of viewing the same tool on a web. So for this, we basically take multiple render shots from Unreal Engine, create Gaussian splat-based experiences. So this is quite cool and easy to do. A quick tip to do this is all you need to do is take that data within Unreal Engine, fly your camera around the project, take the video file and use some online tools like Luma or things that can convert from a video to a Gaussian splat, and use like a Gaussian splat viewer to create something like this. So that's like the technical way of kind of doing the same approach. But this can do the same thing that a high-end sales experience can do, and can work on lightweight products like mobile, tablets, which can evolve the way of how you can present these same tools on an online way. Here there's also live data integration. So if you had like a live inventory data, you wanted to showcase how that particular project is like, you could use that to connect that with the customer to see the live pricing and interactive amenities view. So the entire storytelling process becomes more quicker and better. So after that, one of the problem statements in terms of tool sets was like, we wanted to understand how real estate teams are presenting these projects remotely to customers. So to solve that problem in a deeper way, we built a complete pipeline and an app solution for brokers and real estate agents and sales teams to help them showcase their projects in a remote way. The advantage of this is it basically gamifies the entire approach of how real estate can be sold. And what it does is it creates a competition within teams that allows them to kind of compete within them to do their sales in an effective way. So what this does is it puts all your projects, whether it's 360 content, whether it's 3D content, whether it's pixel stream content, or whether it's like a lightweight web application, it puts the content into a central system. That central system is connected by a video and voice calling, and that allows customers to remotely present any idea or any location or any experience that they wanted to do. So this is not just used or can be used in real estate industry. A similar product could be used for something like if you just wanted to present your idea of your architecture design to your stakeholders who are remotely available across the globe, you can use the same tool. So it has like a bunch of features which I'm not going to dive through, but the goal is that you could create pipelines around your ecosystem of 3D models that allows you to accelerate the overall experience. To get the next step started, when MetaHumans were launched, we were quite excited by this technology because we saw the potential of what the future could look like.
My name is Sarah.
One of the first things we did was build a sales agent, which has all the information that you would need for the specific project. So imagine in the future when you have like an interactive application like this, where you're self-serving like a game, and you go to this NPC character and you ask, hey, what's the square feet? What's the size of this pool? Or what could be the strategy? So the way we built this is the MetaHumans was connected to a text-to-voice and which was connected to a ChatGPT kind of engine. So all this is linked together to kind of answer any set of questions. So today when the customer gives you a bunch of data, like you just throw data into it. You put all your content like what's the square feet, what's the location, what's the selling points, and it can crunch that information to answer queries for the user. This was not enough for us, but what we thought, like, what is the next step of this? So we started doing actions using these NPCs. Actions in terms of things that a sales agent cannot do today. Things that within the interiors could improve the overall sales experience. So to do this, we introduced something like interior design tools or navigation tools. So you could just go and ask this AI agent, hey, can you take me to the balcony of the 5th floor? And it can guide you towards that path. Or you can ask it, can you change the floor to wood? Is that something that you can do and show me? So we believe the potential is just the beginning. Like what it could power for the industries using these kind of products is not just in real estate, but these AI-powered agents could accelerate any industry for any kind of use cases. Next step was we started to kind of build initially unit plans, then buildings, then master plans. With all the tool sets and pipelines that we did, we understood that this could go into something grander, something much larger than the overall vision. So then we started building an entire city, and we tried this first for Dubai. The goal was very simple. Because the data for a lot of cities are not available, can we create a very, very high fidelity model for a city using procedural systems? So here we used a lot of matrix tools that was launched and used those same systems to kind of create procedural pipelines for roadways, waterways, car parking systems, buildings, created signature models for each city, and kind of created like a live breathing city of Dubai. The goal was that you can also add crowd systems, navigation systems, cars. But the essential part is now that this world is live, what can you do with it? You have multiple use cases here. One of the use cases is you can just convert this into like a GTA game, which I have always loved to have like a GTA game where you could go into any city and play that city like a GTA game. So we literally built like a GTA game just to have fun with it and to showcase that. The only drawback was I had to tell my team not to throw the driver out of the car because then we get into trouble in Dubai. So this was like a very safe way to play GTA within Dubai. So we just put some expensive cars on road where you could walk in and just drive that car throughout Dubai. You'll see in a bit. Yep. So one of the use cases that we just presented last month was for the movie industry. How this can basically simulate for virtual production, backgrounds and city simulations or car chases. Things that you want to create in a realistic environment. So all these demos, all these experiences are real time, and it has like a almost around 60 FPS, which was done based on optimization of different kinds of models, which I'll show you the reason why we kind of optimize that as well. So quick peek at the background of it, how this was built. So we used a lot of Blender geometry nodes, node-based systems for procedural mechanics of roads, tool sets that allow procedural vegetation, procedural population of buildings. Then obviously there had to be some manpower and labor that we had to deploy for manual modeling of these landmarks and core buildings, which was the next step. And one of the use cases why we started building this and the vision that we had was, what is the future? Imagine a world where all these technologies, where today you are seeing the 5G connectivity coming, generative AI coming, all these technologies merging together. Today, this is how you search for real estate, right? You have a text listings of everything. And most products you search toward 2D-based interfaces. We believe that the next gen search interfaces will completely transform into 3D. So this was a real-time experimentation with the live data set that we had for Dubai, where we experimented putting all the projects that we have done for any customer into a live 3D search platform. The goal is very simple. In future, you should be able to go into a 3D map of the world, search for any project that in real time, see where that particular project is located in 3D, see how the street life, how the life cycle life is within that street, how is it buzzing, put live characters, live traffic information connected to that, and also probably take it one more step, and when you dive deeper into the project, connect it to the live project experience, which I just showcased you initially. The goal is very simple. With this, customers would have full transparency of any project that they are looking for, and with live data linkage, you can see whether the property is available, what is the view that you're getting into, and not just in real estate. Think about hospitality. Imagine you are booking a room in a specific hotel in a city where you have never been to. 3D search interfaces could redefine the entire game. And this is like a very, very grand vision of what we are trying to build as a use case. But this is something that you guys can also take up and create something for your own industries or your own cities. Another use case could be, what if you have the data? One of the problem statements that we were tackling during the COP28 was ESG monitoring as a problem statement. So you have large sets of data for cities, buildings, units that need to be visualized in a much more storytelling way, because today people do not understand the seriousness of it when they see in like 2D dashboards, which does not show the real impact of what this could offer. So one of the problem statements that we were tackling here was, can we use the entire city data to visualize the data on top of it in a more geospatial way? So can that be taken to a next level, and not just on a city level, can you also dive into a building level, which will mainly use for operation perspective? So here you could track all your IoT sensors of a building in a single system, and you could create like a quick dashboard. So think of it like a command center for a building. You could put all the data on a geospatial information and click on any data to kind of troubleshoot that. And not just from a building level, you could also build like a unit level command center, something like how today cars have, like a model. Imagine you buying a unit in the future. You would have your own model with you, where you can click on any room that you want. You can control your lights, you can control your entire systems like a central dashboard. Now let's get to the exciting part of gaming. So this is something that one of the case studies that we did in Riyadh, which is one of the largest projects in Riyadh today, which is called as King Abdullah Financial District. So this has over 70 plus buildings. So we used everything that we have done before in terms of procedural systems, in terms of photogrammetry, merged everything to create a very very realistic digital twin of that particular city. Once that was done, you could basically walk into any specific street. You could see the actual shops that are there. You could see the actual roads that are there. And this was created in a high fidelity model. And once this model was ready, now was that the unified 3D pipeline is something that you can bring into and create interactive 3D experiences. So just to show you the first example of the interactive city experience that was created, we basically took the same city and we converted that into like a gamified fun experience for people to engage with. Real estate has been always boring, where people just come and show you floor plans, 2D plans, which is not fun. So what we did was we created like a quick face scanning rig where people could scan their faces, become the avatar, and kind of move within the city, play it as a game, and explore the city for themselves. The goal for the customer was very simple. Can you make customers excited about this place? So there was a web experience that was used by enterprise systems to showcase the project. There was another offline system that allows gaming crowds and people to interact with that in a more fun way. While we did this, and that's when Fortnite got launched, and that got our attention to a point like, why to build all these tools, which takes a lot of effort, like individually building avatars, building these game mechanics. And if you had to do that for multiple customers, it's going to take a long time. So that's where Fortnite came into position, where we also saw that there's a huge advantage today to build Fortnite for these enterprise customers. Not just real estate again. You can use this for brands, you can use this for marketing. There's a tremendous amount of potential to push Fortnite for these customers where they already have got a 3D model in place, right? These numbers might be a little bit old, but some of this is what excites us, that there's a huge community behind this. The potential of already existing game mechanics and game parameters are within the ecosystem. That makes your job very easy to kind of build stuff on top of already existing 3D worlds. For this particular city, our goal was simple. Take the existing model of 3D what we have, optimize it to the best way possible because these have limitations. After you create an optimized version, create a 100-player multiplayer up to 100 players to kind of create within the same island where people can collaborate and explore the entire island for themselves. A quick trailer of the same game. So we took the same city, gamified it, and the customers here could engage in two ways. One, do an exploration around the city. So collect coins, which was also branded with the customer's logo, so that allowed them to kind of showcase and see how that entire experience looks like. So this, because Riyadh is also a massive gaming market, this improved the overall engagement by up to 400%. And once the customers have gone through that exploration bit, there was a fun multiplayer bit where they could climb the tallest tower of Riyadh. So this was built using skateboards. Because this was electric-friendly community, there was building with skateboards, lab systems, and solutions that are involved, like have fun with overall collection of coins, have like multiplayer gaming, dashboards, leaderboards that allowed customers to do that. Quick snapshot about why everyone should be looking at gaming as a serious potential, not just for like fun, but also for connecting with enterprise. This is evolving as one of the largest platforms in the world. Like the average age of the entire globe today, there's almost more than 50% of people less than 30. And these are going to be the next buyers of any kind of products, not just real estate, right? So if we are targeting these this crowd, it's not the social media that's going to evolve next, it's the gaming worlds that are going to evolve next. So the potential of building and taking these worlds into gaming is huge. To show you another example of doing the same thing, we took the entire Dubai city that was built, and we took that again in Fortnite as an experiment. So here you could just fly as a drone, see the entire city, convert that into like a multiplayer gaming system, have cool experiences built around it, exploration or racing or multiplayer gaming around that. You could also host events, live events, where you are hosting more than... So this takes away your problem statement of multiple things. One is like redoing the game mechanics, redoing a lot of characterizations, redoing the entire hosting and pixel streaming as a major problem statement. But yes, the crowd that you would engage this is more like a community engagement piece instead of like a serious selling piece. Another use case of hospitality now. Instead of real estate now, imagine there's an island that you are like trying to book a hotel. So this was done for Maldives Island, where we created like an exact replica of the entire island, where you could go and walk into any specific zone of that particular project, and you could see the entire view from the villa that you're buying or villa that you are basically renting out. And you could also, for example, walk through the entire flora and fauna and the experiences. Once we did that, the second bit was very simple. Take it to Fortnite. Create games around Fortnite. Boat racing. Create more community engagement activities within that to promote that particular real estate amenities and lifestyle. And just for the event in Seattle, because my guys were like free last week, they had to do something with me. So we just scanned me, tried to do something with Live Link and MetaHumans to see what's the potential of scanning real life characters and bringing them into the worlds. So instead of having some random NPCs, imagine you could have the CEOs of the company or the marketing people of the company, or imagine even actors who are representing the brand, bring them into the Dubai city. Because I can't sing, I can do actually a concert here in Fortnite. That's live possible, right? So you could make me a singer, or you could make any one of you a singer, and you can host, create any voice behind it, have fun with friends, engage on that. So basically merging all these different particles that we have been talking about and using the entire potential of what Unreal Engine is possible. Coming to the last part, what is the next step? So we understand that most of these experiences are digital, but we still believe that there's a huge potential of connecting these spaces to physical. So we have been able to successfully power Unreal Engine, all the tool sets and things that we have done before into these offline solutions, which allow customers to visualize these projects in a digital, but still with a physical model. So this is called as a hologram solution, which allows you to replace all your scale models. So instead of building scale models for every single project, the model, which is the unified 3D pipeline, connects this to the central hologram piece, which allows customers to visualize all of their scale models in a single digital block. For VR, the same solution is connected to a VR headset along with a tablet. So you can host multiple VR sessions with just using a single tablet, where you can host customer sessions and take them through immersive experiences, again connected to the unified 3D pipeline. And next, you can have huge touchscreen experiences, connect all your projects into a single world ecosystem, and take the customers through any project experience or any user journey that they would want to kind of go through. So you can have from a world view, multi-city view, and from a multi-city view, you can have multi-project view and go into any specific project experience. So this will basically complete the entire journey flow for any specific real estate developer, or whether it's retail or smart city or hospitality. The same can apply as a single piece formula or solution. This is how a typical zone looks like, where all of these solutions can come together in a single place and customers can go through the entire digital journey in a physical world. And this can also be basically hosted. So with the bottom line, it's with a single unified 3D pipeline, you would be able to deploy multiple streams of outputs, some solving the online problem, some solving the remote problem, some solving the gaming problem, and finally some solving the physical problem. That's it, guys. I'm leaving you early. Have any questions? Happy to take it. Thank you.